WACT News begins now with breaking news.
Crews have pulled a body out of the water.
An eyewitness spotted the man floating in the surf in Fort Fisher. WACT's Daniela Hankey is in the newsroom now with details. Daniela, what do we know at this hour?
Fran, we know this all unfolded around 5 this evening at the Fort Fisher State Recreation Area. Now, sheriff investigators say a witness spotted a man's body floating in the water and called 911. The Curry Beach Fire Department responded to the scene and got that body out. This is all still in the early stages. There won't be any word on who the man was until his family has been notified, but we're told he is not the boater missing from South Carolina. At this hour, we do know investigators do not suspect foul play was involved. Fran, of course, will have to wait on that autopsy for more details on what exactly happened and how this man exactly died.
All right, thanks for that report, Daniela.